Hallo, guten Abend, willkommen zu der heutigen Performance-Lecture von Juliette Blightman. Vielen Dank, dass Sie willkommen. Juliette Blightman präsentiert ihre Arbeit als Teil der Ausstellung Maskulinitäten und in der Ausstellungshalle und vor allen Dingen auch hier in diesem Raum, in diesem Still Life Porträts arbeiten. Und ja, heute Abend wird diese Arbeit ein Stück weit aktivieren. Vielen Dank, dass Sie hier sind. Juliette hat Anthony mitgebracht, Anthony Silvester, ein Musiker aus London. Und es wird hier so ungefähr ein Abend von 45 Minuten. Also wir beginnen mit einer Lecture und wir sehen Filme und einem Runway. Herzlich willkommen. Thanks, Juliette.
And to admit the coincidence of opposites beyond all the grasp of reason, and dared to seek the truth where impossibility meted us.
During the course of the year 2012, we travelled extensively, my daughter and I, who turned 3 in July that year, and for Christmas we remained in Berlin as we were living there at the time. Anyone who has experienced a Berlin winter will be aware that the lack of sunlight, not to mention the low thick cloud that never lifts, the buildings appearing constantly for 6 months that they don't end and the sky begin, is aware that by January the city has you hunched over and isolated, especially with a small child, as one of the ways to get through these months is to sleep all day and only venture out at night in the warmth of the U-Bahn and into a club and dance in the heat of naked bodies high on chemicals until the sun rises again at 8 a.m, which at this time the few friends I had in the city were doing just that. "2012 became a film consisting of videos and images I had taken throughout the year. In 2014, my friend Gertrude managed to persuade me to exhibit this film. Up to this point, I had refrained from my daughter appearing in my work, mainly because of the comments I had received from people telling me that I would no longer be able to make work as an artist and as a mother. Gertrude and I had met in a restaurant in Basel in February 2013, this an attempt at my independence, and a month after separating from my daughter's father, who for the purpose of this will be referred to as Linda. I went alone for 2 nights. Another friend, Alice, had invited me to the opening of the Juliette exhibition Macho Man Tell It to My Heart at the Gegengeburt für Moderne Kunst in Basel. After the opening, we went to dinner. I couldn't relax and left early. Hangovers would last a week, and as Cookie was still waking relentlessly at 6 a.m. every morning, I didn't want to take one back to Berlin with me. I met Gertrude again on a rooftop, back in Basel 6 months later. I was invited to do a performance. I devised a fashion show at Elaine, the space that ran alongside the Gegengeburt für Moderne Kunst, that Alice, Gertrude, Lucy and Helen ran. I had 4 models, 1 female, 3 male, model topless, in briefs, boxer shorts and long johns, all of which I had stitched up the hole, where men can pull out their penis in order to go to the toilet. Something I felt gave men an advantage with convenience and efficiency. How many times have I wished to stand by a bush, whop out my penis and relieve myself? A scene from German filmmaker Rainer Fassbinder's Katzelmacher from 1969 was projected over them. Three months later, Gertrude got in touch asking how my summer had been, and could they show a series of my toilet drawings in an exhibition they were working on. I agreed, and over the next 6 months we spoke daily, sending messages back and forth, links to films, music, artworks, books. We didn't meet again until March 2014. These messages eventually became another film, titled Propinquity, Killing Time. Before this, however, I got to meet the American artist Dorothy Ione, born in 1933. I had sent images of some of the correspondence between Dorothy Ione and Dieter Roth to Gertrude from the publication, Dieter and Dorothy, their correspondence in words and works, 1967 to 1998. The book consists of postcards and letters between the couple during their relationship and up until his death. He died in Basel. The book was published in 2001. The book's concept is credited to both Dieter Roth and Dorothy Ione. Rather ironically, it had been given to me by Cookie's father. I had gone to see Dorothy's exhibition, This Sweetness Outside of Time, at the Kölnischer Gallery. Through this, I learned about the publication, The Story of Bern, showing colours. Gertrude contacted Dorothy's gallery in Paris, and through them she agreed to meet us for 40 minutes in her live workspace in Berlin. We stayed 3 hours, and she told us the stories surrounding the publication. In 1969, Howard Ziesman, the then director of the Kunsthalle Bern in Switzerland, invited artists Dieter Roth, Karl Gerstner, and Daniel Sperry and Andre Tompkins to take part in a show called The Friends Show at the Kunsthalle. Each artist then invited other artists. Roth invited Dorothy Ione and Emmett Williams. Before the exhibition, the other artists were already concerned that Dorothy's work would cause trouble, in particular Daniel Sperry. And according to The Story of Bern, which was written and drawn by Dorothy immediately after the events, the day before the opening, members of the board came to see the exhibition, which included, as portrayed in the publication, a male Swiss artist from Bern, a male Swiss collector from Bern, and a male diplomat from Bern. Howard Ziesman and Karl Gerstner then told Roth that they wanted to cover all the genitals in each work with brown tape. Roth said they had to ask Dorothy. When she arrived, Ziesman and Gerstner had already started to tape paper over every single genital in Dorothy's works. The night before the opening, they continued the discussion. Dorothy says she doesn't agree, but doesn't want to compromise Ziesman's position. Gerstner, who had been, up until this point, defending Dorothy to the main protagonist, Spereri, then changes his mind and decides the work should be censored or the show will be closed down. Dorothy says that it's not true, and her works would be removed, not the exhibition closed. In the publication, Siesmann is then drawn to say, "I called my wife, and she said, show it uncensored." On the morning of the opening, more officials arrive at the show and say the work must be removed. Roth says that he's leaving and tells Dorothy. Roth then decides to remove his own works, which were shown together with the works of Dorothy's that were being removed, and neither Dorothy or Roth go to the opening. In the morning, Dorothy removes the rest of her remaining works, shortly followed by Roth and the remaining works of his. The exhibition was then toured to the Kunsthalle Düsseldorf, where the same conversation continues. Spereri is trying to persuade Roth to put his works in the second part of the exhibition, but Roth doesn't want to without Dorothy's works. Spereri gets cross that they are creating a myth around themselves. But Roth and Dorothy say that if Spereri had supported them rather than to go against them, none of this would happen. Spereri then decides to show alone, as Gerstner and Tompkins no longer feel the concept of the Friends exhibition exists. Dorothy, at this point, has already started making the drawings that were to become the story of Bern, or Showing Colours. Ruhrberg, the director of the Kunsthalle Düsseldorf, then decides to go ahead with the original exhibition, uncensored. Dorothy publishes the book in time for the exhibition. During the exhibition in Düsseldorf, Dorothy's books are torn and vandalized. Three years ago, I was invited by Valerie Knoll, the first female director of the institution, in the 100 years at Wiener Kunsthalle. Hearing Dorothy recall her experiences from 1969 led me to showing a series of penis portraits in the same location 45 years later, with the support of the director, where the works this time went uncensored. Those same works are the ones you sit around now in the context of Maskulinitäten. Conceived within the context of prominent and reactionary manifestations of masculinity, and with a relevant and uncompromising critique of its hegemonic forms, the collaboration aims to destabilize patriarchal and heteronormative notions of gender.
sky. I dreamt about flying away from here. Only in my dreams, I can never fly fast enough. So I built my own world inside my head. I had imaginary friends, make-believe love. I traveled to faraway places and did as I pleased. Fought the law, and of course, made my own rules. When I was a kid, I took my shirt off, imagining I was just as sexy and as powerful as when Matt Dillon did it for the centerfold of Teen Beat magazine. I rode my big wheel down the street, pretending I was Eric Estrada, rushing on my motorcycle to save the life of some girl who desperately needed to be rescued.
René Fouchter, assistant Richard Brochet, montage Geneviève Luciani, prise de son Patrice, réalisation Chantal Akerman.
Every time that you think you're fine, turns out you're wrong, and you change your mind.